Hi, my name is Cheryl Brunette, and thank you for stopping by my knitting channel, where you will find tips and techniques, full workshops, and answers to your most perplexing sweater questions. Today, we're going to graft together live stockinette stitches. In episode 3, we talked about cutting your knitting horizontally to make repairs or even rescue a whole sweater that would otherwise be doomed to live in a closet shelf. In that program, I showed you how to run circular needles into your knitting to isolate the row that you would cut. And once that row was cut and unraveled, this is what you had: 2 pieces of knitting with live loops that you want to join invisibly. Now, typically, this is where people thread up a tapestry needle, hold these 2 pieces together like this, and work back and forth. There's a couple of setup stitches, and then there's a 4-step process, and it's kind of like in and out the window is what I call it. It's back and forth and back and forth. It works fine, but I always have to look it up because I don't use it that often. I like to do this differently, and it's my favorite way to teach grafting because it helps you learn to read your knitting. Lay out both pieces with the tips of the needles at the right side. This bottom piece should be the bottom of the knitting, and you will be dropping stitches off these needles one at a time. Start with the bottom, go into the center of that stitch from behind. Come up here, and these ones actually, I'm going to drop that one off and grab that. Whoops, missed it, but I picked it up again. These are really big stitches, and they're in wool, so they don't really run the risk of going too far. And I'm going to go back into the hole I came out of on this stitch. Go into the center of the next stitch. Now there's just our first stitch. Let me tuck that out of the way. But you can see that that looks like a real stitch. It looks like it's coming out of a real stitch, and that it's going straight up through there. I will say that once you're going, you always go into the hole you came out of when you go from side to side. See how I came out of that hole? I'm going back in, then over to the next stitch. Again, here's the hole I came out of. This one gets a little bit tucked in back, so you have to pull that, but you can see that I came out of that hole. Now every couple stitches, stop and look. And oh, if the tension isn't perfect, that's okay. You can tighten it up a little bit later. Although it's nice to tighten it up as you're going along. You don't want to get too far off on your tension. An even better way to do this, for me, is to actually drop the stitches off the needle, and then I can see them line up. However, this tends to make people very nervous. This is a wool thick rug yarn that's not going to run out. I mean, I can just look at how I can see the pattern so easily when I do it like this, because the stitches are flat. They're facing exactly where they're supposed to be facing. You can do this with other yarns, but if you have anything that might unravel or anything that you might be nervous about, you can run a lifeline. Take something like this, which is a thin cotton, and run it through all those live stitches the same way you ran. There it is. This will do, or even some embroidery floss would do. Just run it through, and then when you drop them off the needles, they're not likely to run. They can't go very far. This captures them. One of the reasons I like this particular technique so much is because it causes you to really look at your knitting and follow a pattern. It can be very empowering. It can help you fix a hole, for example, that's developed, or cut in a pocket, and it is training you to read your knitting, which is the best thing ever. I encourage you to make a swatch, knit, maybe cast on 10 or 15 stitches, cut it, weave it back together, and do it more than once. Weave it back together 5 or 6 times. I hope that this will make you a far more adventuresome knitter. So until I see you again, enjoy your knitting. Okay, this monitor drives me crazy. Turn it this way so you can see yourself. Hi. And answers to your most purposeful